wind's whistling soft tonight, curling around my little house like it's trying to carry away old hurts. But some pains stick, don't they, like burrs on a sweater. I'm Esther Bluefeather, 83 now, my hands wrinkled as old paper, my heart heavy with a story I've kept locked away for years. I hid my husband's betrayal from my daughter. Then she chose him as her groom, shattering my world. Oh, it's a tale that cuts deep, one of love and lies, of a mother's silence and a daughter's choice. As I share how I carried this secret and how it broke me all over again. It was 1962, and I was 26, young and foolish, thinking love could hold a family together. We lived in a small Kansas town where the air smelled of wheat and summer dust. Our house was a whitewashed cottage, porch sagging but full of charm, with marigolds I planted by the steps. My husband, Ray, was a charmer, tall with a grin that could melt snow, working as a truck driver. We'd married at 19, full of dreams, and our daughter, June, came in 1960, a tiny thing with my brown eyes and his curly hair. She's our star, Ray would say, swinging her high, her giggles filling the house like music. But Ray, he had a restless heart. By 1962, when June was 2, I noticed things. Late nights, whiskey on his breath, lipstick on his collar once, pink and wrong. "Work's tough," he'd say, avoiding my eyes. I wanted to believe him, wanted our little family to stay whole. I'd rock June to sleep, her soft breaths against my neck, and pray, "Lord, keep us safe." But prayers don't always hold, do they? One night, I found a note in his jacket, scrawled, "Meet me, darling," signed by a woman named Clara. My heart stopped, but I hid it, tucking it away like a bad dream. June needed her daddy, and I needed to believe in him. Then, in 1963, Ray left. No warning, just a letter on the kitchen table. "Esther, I can't stay. I'm sorry." No explanation, no goodbye. I stood there, June tugging my skirt, saying, "Mama, where's Daddy?" My throat burned, but I smiled, lied, "He's working, baby. He'll be back." But he wasn't. The bank called. Ray had drained our savings, left us with nothing but the house and a stack of bills. I was 27, alone, with a 3-year-old who didn't understand why her daddy's boots weren't by the door. I sold my wedding ring to pay the electric, took a job at the town's laundry, washing sheets till my hands cracked. The smell of bleach clung to me, sharp and bitter, like my anger. Neighbors whispered, "Poor Esther, abandoned." I'd nod, keep my chin up. But at night, I'd cry into my pillow, June sleeping beside me, her tiny hand in mine. "Why, Ray?" I'd whisper to the dark. "Why'd you break us?" I never told June the truth, how her daddy ran off with Clara, how he chose another life. I said he was working far away, a hero in my stories, to keep her heart whole. Raising June alone was hard but sweet. She was my light, drawing pictures of flowers, singing as we baked cornbread in our tiny kitchen. I'd work double shifts, come home to her sleeping on the couch, crayons scattered. "Mama's here," I'd whisper, kissing her forehead, her hair smelling of soap and innocence. I sewed her dresses from scraps, taught her Cherokee prayers my mama passed down, about the earth, the stars, the strength to endure. "You're my brave girl," I'd say, and she'd grin, believing it. By 1970, I was 34, June 10, and we'd found a rhythm. I'd moved up to managing the laundry, bought us a used TV, and we'd watch old westerns, June cheering for the heroes. But questions came. "Mama, when's Daddy coming home?" she'd ask, her eyes big. I'd swallow hard, say, "Soon, baby," hating the lie. I'd burned Ray's note years ago, but his betrayal lived in me, a stone in my chest. I heard he was in Wichita, living with Clara. No kids. I didn't care, just wanted him gone from my heart. June grew fast, smart, kind, dreaming of being an artist. By 1975, at 15, she was painting murals on her bedroom walls, sunsets, birds, our marigolds. "I'll go to art school, Mama," she'd say, paint on her cheeks. I'd smile, save every penny, thinking, she'll have what I didn't. But the town was small, gossip fast. "Heard Ray's back in Kansas," a neighbor said once, and my stomach twisted. Back? Why? I checked the locks, held June tighter, scared he'd stir trouble. In 1980, June was 20, in art school in Topeka, her letters full of excitement. "Mama, I'm painting the world," she wrote, sending sketches. I'd pin them up, my heart proud but lonely. I was 44, still at the laundry, my hands rough, my hair graying. I dated once, a kind baker named Sam, but my heart stayed closed. Ray's betrayal had taught me trust was fragile. "You're enough for me, June," I'd tell her on calls, and she'd laugh. "You're my rock, Mama." Then, in 1985, June called, voice trembling. "Mama, I'm engaged." My heart leaped, love for my girl, finally. "Who's the man?" I asked, expecting a young artist. Her pause was long, too long. "His name's Ray," she said. "He's older, but he loves me." My blood ran cold. "Ray? Couldn't be." "Tell me more," I said, voice shaking. She described him, tall, curly hair, a truck driver, 50 now, my Ray, my husband, her father. My knees buckled, the phone slipping. "Mama, you okay?" she asked. I lied. "Just tired, baby. Happy for you." That night I sobbed, the marigolds outside blurring through tears. Ray, back in her life, not knowing she was his daughter, or worse, knowing. I'd hidden his betrayal to protect her, but now she loved him, wanted to marry him. My world shattered, pieces cutting deep. How could I tell her? Destroy her love? Her dreams? I clutched her old drawings, whispering, "What do I do, June? Tell me, dear friends." If you hid a painful truth to protect your child, could you break their heart to save them, or would silence hurt more? Share your story below. Your words help me carry this pain. I wrote to June, begging her to visit, saying we needed to talk. She agreed, but my heart raced, dreading the truth. How do you tell your daughter her love is a lie, a betrayal twice over? The night's heavy now, the air thick with the scent of rain-soaked marigolds, pulling me back to those days when my heart was torn between love and truth. I'm Esther Bluefeather, 83, my hands clutching a worn photo of June, my daughter, her smile as bright as the Kansas sun. Hiding Ray's betrayal from her was my shield, meant to keep her heart whole. But when she chose him as her groom at 25, it broke me, like glass under a boot. Let me take you into those years, when I faced the unthinkable, trying to save my girl from a truth that could destroy her, and found strength in the ashes of my silence. It was 1985, and I was 49, my hair more gray than brown, my days filled with the hum of the laundry machines and the ache of missing June. She was 25, living in Topeka, her letters full of paint and passion from art school. That call, when she said she was engaged to a man named Ray, hit me like a storm. My Ray, her father, who'd left us in 1963 when she was 3, running off with Clara, leaving me to raise her alone. I'd lied to protect her, said he was working far away, a hero in my stories. Now she loved him, not knowing who he was, and my world spun, the kitchen walls closing in, the smell of burnt coffee sharp in my nose. I sat up that night, the house quiet, June's childhood drawings scattered on the table, crayon flowers, stick figure families with me and her, no daddy. How, Lord? I whispered, tears falling. How do I tell her she's marrying her own father? The thought was a knife, twisting deep. Was Ray deceiving her, or did he not know? Had he come back to Kansas, found her by chance, his curly hair and charm fooling her young heart? Or worse, did he know and still let her love him? My stomach churned, shame and fear mixing like bitter tea. I'd hidden his betrayal to keep June's world bright, but now my silence felt like a trap. I wrote to her, hands shaking, asking her to visit. "We need to talk, baby," I penned, my words careful, not to scare her. She arrived a week later, in late summer, her eyes sparkling, a new ring glinting on her finger. "Mama, he's wonderful," she said, hugging me on the porch, the marigolds nodding in the breeze. She looked so happy, her hair loose, paint still under her nails. "Ray's older, but he gets me, Mama. He's a trucker, loves my art." Each word was a stone, piling on my chest. I smiled, weak, and said, "Tell me more, June." We sat in the kitchen, cornbread baking, its warm smell no match for the cold dread in me. She talked fast, how they met at a gallery, how he bought her painting, how he proposed under a willow tree. "He's 50, Mama, but strong, kind. You'll love him." 50. Ray's age. I sipped my tea, hands trembling, and asked, "What's his last name, honey?" She paused, frowned. "Carter. Ray Carter." My heart stopped. Ray's last name, the one he used with Clara. It was him. I wanted to scream, to shake her, but her smile held me still. "He wants to meet you," she said. "At the wedding, maybe?" The room spun, and I gripped the table, whispering, "Sure, baby." That night, after she left, I dug through old boxes, found a photo of Ray from 1962. Curly hair, that charming grin. I sobbed, clutching it, the paper crinkling like my heart. I had to tell her, but how? Shatter her love, her dreams, or let her marry him, blind to the truth? I called my friend Ruth from church, her voice steady through my tears. "Esther, you gotta tell her," she said. "It's wrong, her not knowing." I nodded, phone shaking, but fear choked me. What if June hated me for keeping the secret? What if Ray lied, turned her against me? I drove to Topeka the next week, heart pounding, the marigold's scent fading behind me. June's apartment was small, full of canvases, sunsets, rivers, love in every stroke. She hugged me, excited, saying, "Mama, the wedding's in 3 months." I sat her down, hands cold, and started, "June, about Ray." My voice broke, tears falling. She frowned, touched my arm. "What's wrong?" I took a breath, said, "He's your father, the man who left us when you were 3. Her face froze, eyes wide, then angry. "No, Mama, that's crazy. Ray would have told me." She stood pacing, her voice sharp. "Why would you say that?" I showed her the photo, my hands shaking. "This is him, June. Ray Carter. He left with another woman, broke us." She stared, tears spilling, shaking her head. "No. He loves me. He wouldn't." She sank to the couch, sobbing, and I held her, my own tears mixing with hers. "I'm sorry, baby," I whispered. "I hid it to protect you." She pushed me away, voice raw. "You lied, Mama, all my life." She ran to her room, slamming the door, leaving me alone with her paintings, their colors mocking my pain. I stayed in Topeka, at a cheap motel, the air stale, the bed creaking. June didn't call for days. I prayed, clutching my mother's Cherokee prayer beads, the wood smooth under my fingers. Give me strength, Creator, I begged. Ruth drove up, sat with me saying, "She'll come around, Esther. Truth hurts, but it heals." I wanted to believe her, but June's anger was a wall, high and cold. A week later, June called, voice quiet. "Mama." I confronted Ray. He admitted it. He knew I was his daughter, said he loved me anyway. My blood ran cold, rage and disgust rising. "He's gone," she said. I ended it. Relief flooded me, but her pain cut deeper. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" she asked, crying. I wept too, saying, "I wanted you to have a daddy, not a ghost." She hung up, and I drove home, the road blurring through tears, marigolds waiting like a promise. June didn't speak to me for months. I worked, washed sheets, prayed. The laundry's bleach smell my only constant. I wrote her letters, simple ones. "I love you, June, always." No reply. The wedding was canceled. I heard through a friend. Ray had left town, back to Clara maybe. I didn't care, just wanted my girl back. In 1986, June showed up unannounced at my door. She was thin, eyes tired, but she hugged me saying, "I'm sorry, Mama." We cried sitting on the porch, the marigolds bright. "I was mad," she said, "but I get it now. You protected me." I held her, the weight lifting like clouds parting. "Tell me, kind souls, if telling the truth could break your child's heart, would you speak it or carry the secret to spare them? Share your heart below. Your stories ease my own." We rebuilt, slow. June stayed in Topeka, painting again, but visited often, her laughter returning. I kept working, saving for her, praying for her healing. The secret was out, but love was stronger, stitching us back together. The stars are bright tonight, twinkling through my window like they're whispering hope, and they carry me back to those years when I learned to mend a heart torn by secrets and love. I'm Esther Bluefeather, 83 now, my hands shaky, but my spirit steady, holding the pain of hiding Ray's betrayal from my daughter June, and the shattering truth when she chose him as her groom at 25. That moment broke us, but love, oh, love stitched us back, stronger than before. Let me share the final threads of this story, how I found peace in June's healing, how I carried our scars to help others, and how love became my home. After June came to my door in 1986, her eyes tired but full of forgiveness, we sat on the porch, the marigold's sweet scent wrapping around us like a promise. I was 50, my hair gray, my heart raw from her anger, from Ray's unthinkable betrayal, knowing she was his daughter and still letting her love him. "Mama," June whispered, hugging me, "I was lost, but you saved me." Her words were a balm, soothing the ache of those silent months after I told her the truth. We cried together, the Kansas wind soft, carrying away some of the hurt. "I love you, baby," I said, holding her tight, her hair smelling of paint and home. June stayed in Topeka, painting again, her canvases brighter, rivers, stars, not the dark swirls of before. She'd visit weekends, bringing sketches, her laughter filling my little house. "Mama, I'm okay," she'd say, seeing my worry. But I saw the shadows in her eyes, the way she flinched at loud voices, like I did after Ray left. I'd bake cornbread, her favorite, the kitchen warm with its buttery smell, and we'd talk about art, life, anything but him. "You're my rock," she'd say, and I'd shake my head, saying, "Just your mama, trying." But inside, I felt stronger, knowing she was healing. I kept working at the laundry, the bleach smell sharp, my hands rough from years of washing sheets, But my heart was lighter. June's visits my sunlight. In 1988, she met Daniel, a quiet teacher with kind eyes, at an art show. "Mama, he's good," she said, blushing, showing me his photo. I met him, saw his gentle smile, and prayed, "Let him be true, Lord." They married in 1990, June radiant in a dress I sewed, white with marigold embroidery. I walked her down the aisle, tears falling, thinking of the wedding that never was, the one with Ray. "You're beautiful," I whispered, and she squeezed my hand, saying, "Because of you." Their daughter, Lily, came in 1992, my first grandbaby, a tiny spark with June's brown eyes. Holding her, I felt time fold, me at 26, rocking June, vowing to protect her. "No secrets for you, little one," I whispered, her baby scent sweet as hope. June was a fierce mother, watching Lily like I'd watched her, checking locks, asking, "Mama, how'd you do it alone?" I'd smile, say, "Love, baby, it's enough." But I saw my fears in her. Ray's betrayal had scarred us both, making us guard our hearts. By 1995, I was 59, slowing down, my knees aching from years on my feet. I quit the laundry, took a part-time job at a flower shop, arranging marigolds, their bright petals my joy. June and Daniel moved closer, to a house in our town, Lily toddling through my door, calling, "Grandma Essie." Her giggles were medicine, easing the old pain of Ray's lies. I'd tell her Cherokee stories like my mama told me, about the stars, the sacred fire, her eyes wide, her hands sticky with cookies. "You're magic, Grandma," she'd say, and I'd laugh, feeling whole. But the past, it never fully leaves. Nightmares came sometimes. Ray's grin, June's angry eyes when I told her the truth. I'd wake, clutching my mother's prayer beads, their wood warm, whispering, "Creator, keep us safe." June noticed my quiet days, asked, "Mama, you okay?" I told her bits, how Ray's betrayal still stung, how I blamed myself for not telling her sooner. "You did right," she said, hugging me. "You kept me safe." Her forgiveness was a gift, heavier than gold. In 2000, at 64, I joined a women's group at church, urged by Ruth. "Share your story, Esther," she said, her voice kind. I did, haltingly, telling of Ray's leaving, my silence, June's engagement. The women listened, some crying. "You're so strong," one said, but I felt fragile, like cracked clay. Sharing lightened me, though, like setting down a heavy load. I started volunteering at a community center, helping single mothers, telling them, "You're enough for your kids." Each smile was June's, each hug a step toward healing. Lily grew fast, a painter like her mama. In 2010, at 18, she showed me her art, marigolds like mine, but bolder. "For you, Grandma," she said, and I cried, pinning it above my fireplace. June and Daniel thrived, their love steady, but June carried scars too. "Mama, I check on Lily too much," she admitted once. I nodded, saying, "We both learned to watch close." We laughed, bittersweet, our bond deeper for the pain. In 2015, Lily, 23, set up my YouTube channel, Beloved Grandma, after hearing my stories. "Your voice needs to be heard," she said, filming me in my rocking chair, sage burning, its smoky scent grounding me. I told of Ray, of June, of hiding the truth and facing it. Comments flooded in. "Esther, you saved me. I hid a secret too. Thank you." Each one was a marigold, blooming in my heart. "You're famous, Grandma," Lily teased, but I just wanted to help, to turn my pain into light. By 2020, I was 84, health faltering, heart flutters, eyes dimming. June and Lily moved me to their guest room, fussing over me. "You're our hero," June said, and I shook my head, saying, "Just your mama." But sharing on YouTube, reading comments, felt like purpose. In 2022, a letter came from a woman who'd seen my videos. "Your story gave me courage to leave my cheating husband," she wrote. I cried, clutching June's old drawings, feeling Ray's betrayal turn to something good. Tell me, dear hearts, if your pain could help another heal, would you bare your soul or keep it close to guard your heart? Share your story below. Your words weave us together. Now, at 83, I record these tales, voice weak but spirit strong, Lily filming, sage smoke curling. My channel, beloved grandma, carries my scars, my love, to you. Ray's betrayal broke me, June's choice shattered me, but her forgiveness, Lily's laughter, your comments, they've mended me. I sit here, marigolds on the table, knowing love outlives lies. If this story touched your soul, if you've ever hidden pain to protect love, like this video, share your journey in the comments, and subscribe to Beloved Grandma for more whispers from a heart that's endured. Hold your dear ones tight tonight, my friends. Their love is your home.